Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Welcome to Lady Khadija radiallahu anha online college. May God be pleased with her live lesson, A-Level Maths Year 2, Pure Maths. This lesson is the first lesson on the area of a sector, following on from previous lessons where we looked at a sector but looked at the arc length. This time we're looking at the area. If you're following through in the book, it's chapter 5. Examples 11 to 13 of the UK edX Hill Pearson A-Level book. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. We are looking at the area of a sector. So let's bring up a sector. First, we start with the circle, and then from the center, we just want to cut it into a slice, like a pizza slice. So there's your sector. And in the center, we are going to have an angle which we're going to call theta. And then we can rub out the rest of the circle, but instead I'm just going to fill in the sector for you to focus in on the sector. So the question is, how do we work out the area of this sector? We start with the area of the circle. So from GCSE, you should remember that the area of a circle is pi r squared. So that's area is equal to pi squared. The radius is squared. But because this sector here, I need to multiply this by a fraction. How big a fraction will I need? The total that goes on the bottom of the fraction will be 360 degrees because that's the total degrees of a full circle. But rather than write 360 degrees, we want to work in radians. So instead of 360, we write the equivalent in radians, which is 2 pi. And then on the top of the fraction, how much of that circle, how much of that 360 degrees or 2 pi radians do I have? I have theta. So on the top goes the angle theta. So there's the full area of a full circle times by a fraction, which gives you the area of the sector. If you look carefully, you can do a little bit of cancelling. We've got pi here and then pi here. So we can cancel the pi on the top and the pi on the bottom. So then we're left with a very short formula, not as short as the length of an arc, but it's still not bad. It's r squared theta divided by 2, and I can replace the divide by 2 by just timesing by a half. So there's your formula for the area of a sector. Let's use that in expression, which tells us in words that the area is required and the sector has a radius of 2.44 centimeters. So this sector is coming from a circle with a radius of 2.44 centimeters, and the angle at the center is 1.4 radians. So we're just going to put those two numbers into the formula. We have the radius is 2.44, that's going to go there. We have the angle is 1.4, which is going to go here. So then I get my formula is A area is equal to a half let's just make a bit of room. So let's just copy that formula. And now let's use it. So we have the area will be equal to a half times the radius, which is 2.44, times by theta, which is 1.4. So if you type that into your calculator, you will get the answer for the area of a sector. I'll just give you a few seconds, and you should get something that rounds to 4.17 centimeters squared. Let's stick with this formula, but this time let's take a look at a slightly different question. Here we are looking at the same formula. We're looking at the area of a sector, but this time in this question, which is example 12, the area is given to us. We're saying that the area of a sector is equal to 28.9 centimeters squared. The radius is also in the formula, but in the question, the radius is unknown. So the radius is unknown. And the angle theta of the sector is known. So the angle is equal to 0.8 radians. So based on that information, can we work out what the radius is? Yes, we can. We just use the same formula. Area is equal to half times r squared theta. So let's copy that. The 28.9 is the area, so that can go here. The radius is unknown, so we can leave that as r. And the angle is 0.8, so that can go here. So let's put that in. That'll give us 28.9 is equal to a half times r squared and times by theta, which is 0.8. Okay, we can get rid of the half by timesing everything by 2. So we can times by 2 on this side, times by 2 on this side. So then the half and the times 2 will cancel. We can get rid of the times by 0.8. We can move it onto the left-hand side, and it'll become a divide by 0.8. And then we're only left with r squared. So to get just r, the radius, we're just going to square root both sides. And then the squared and the square root on this side will cancel out. So you're just left with r, the radius, which is what we want. So we just need to put that into a calculator. Square root of 2 times 28.9 all divided by 0.8, and then we need to square root that. So it has to be typed in just like that, and you give you a few seconds to do that. Okay, we should get the answer. R is equal to 8.5. Okay, join me for more on areas of sectors tomorrow in the next lesson. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Peace be with you and the mercy